I'm going to get into the topic of the day. So today we're going to be talking about selfless leadership. All right. What selfless leadership means is you are a leader who also understands that you need to grow other people. So you are not a selfish leader where you are strictly focused on yourself. You are a kind of leader that's also focused on other people as well, and you understand their growth. Because guys, you must remember this, né? When you choose to go for management, you are following stress. That is just how the world works, right? The moment you progress and you move into a management position and you move into an executive position, you are just following stress. And what you want to do is you want to be in a leadership position in such a way that it does not cause you stress. And one of the ways of doing it is to be selfless, right? Is to use all of the resources that you have, is to use your team effectively so that you are not always stressed as a leader and you actually have support. And the best ways of doing it is actually to become a selfless leader, right? Hey, Batobile, thank you for coming through. The Queen, Captain, the Lieutenant is here of the Fetch Army. Thank you, Batobile. I see you. Thank you for coming through, right? So if you want to become a stressless leader, you have to be a selfless leader, right? Let me repeat that. If you want to be a stressless leader, you need to be a selfless leader, right? And what happens when you become a selfless leader is that you don't become toxic. So a lot of you guys, managers and bosses and leaders in companies that are toxic is because they are not selfless. They're actually selfish. So everything is about them. Everything starts with them. Everything ends with them. They want to run the ship. Thank you so much. Right? They want to run the ship and all of that. So today we're going to speak about how you can be selfless, right? And the benefits of being selfless, guys, is that you get the biggest support from your team as well, right? Your team will protect you. Your team will they will sympathize with you. They will understand that the position that you're in, which is a management position, is actually not easy. Right. So let's go through a couple of things that can help you to become a selfless leader. Number one, a lot of toxic managers, they fail when it comes to these four things, right? So number one is that you need to admit that some of your subordinates are smarter than you. Guys, your job as a manager or as a leader in a company, as an entrepreneur, as an executive, your job is to employ people that are smarter than you. That's the first thing you need to understand, right? I always hired people that are smarter than me, so that when I delegate to them, they can actually do the job and execute it and feel good about it. So as your leader, you're going to be employing a whole lot of people that are smarter than you. That's what happens when you are a brilliant, selfless leader. And when I'm saying smarter than you is you can beat them maybe when it comes to leadership skills. And that's why when you are a leader within the organization and they are not. But when it comes to certain operational things, when it comes to certain qualifications, those people are smarter than you. Like I said, I always make this example. I had people with masters and PhDs and all of that report to me. And I hired them on purpose because I needed people that are smarter than you smarter than me in certain areas, so that I can be able to delegate to them and then I can have less stress. I have people that I know can take care of things when I'm not feeling good on the day. When I'm feeling a little bit down on the day, I know there's a couple of people that can actually take the company forward or can take the department forward. So you have to be able to admit that some people are smarter than you. You can't always say you are the top dog of each and everything, like you're sort of like the master of all trade, right? So everything you think you are better than everyone, that will make you toxic at the end of the day. There's a reason why you brought in people that are smarter than you. So that is the first thing. You need to admit to yourself and be okay with the fact that certain people are going to be smarter than you. All right. That's what selfless leadership is. Number two is that you need to let the subordinates that are stronger than you when it comes to knowledge lead the projects. So one of the things I used to do is that whenever, let's say, for example, one of the departments I was running, we were starting a new division that focuses on ESG and sustainability. And I don't have the knowledge and I don't have the background on ESG, but I knew how it fit into my department. I brought in a girl who was actually an honors level when it comes to ESG. And I used to let her lead the project. So I always used to say to her, "You are the boss." So she'd come to me and say, "Listen, I think this is what we need to do when it comes to our ESG strategy. This is how we need to focus on our companies. Maybe, we need to focus on climate change and how they can implement it." And I used to always say to her, "You are the boss. You are the boss when it comes to this one, right? What can I do to assist you? What resources are you looking for? What kind of budget are you looking for? So that you can go out there, right, and do what we need to do when it comes to ESG. It's a new product. How can we best capitalize on it and make sure that it brings us money?" Because I knew this person was smarter than me. I brought them in on purpose, right? So when they're smarter than me, they need to lead the projects. They are the boss when it comes to this. My job is to make sure that they have all of the resources. So instead of going on Google and looking at ESG or trying to give this person a hard time whenever they come up with good ideas because I'm feeling threatened, no, you sit back and relax and you say, "You are the boss. You are the lead when it comes to this one. It's the reason why I brought you in. You've got the qualifications and you've got the experience." That's what selfless leadership is. You let people run in front, right? And this links to number 3. When candidates have a better knowledge, or when people in your team have better knowledge, right? You must be the support. So as a selfless leader, you know how to sit back and say, "How can I support you?" So that means if your team is missing some kind of research and they need you to do a little bit of that research, it does not matter if you are the manager or the executive. Give them that support, right? Make them feel good for that particular moment in time in order for them to actually run the projects, right? That's part of selfless leadership. You must be able to support people without throwing your rank at them. Right? So sometimes I used to be the administrator for some of my most intelligent staff members. I used to sit back and be like, I'll be the administrator. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to file? What do you want me to print? Right? And my team was comfortable enough to say, "Listen, because you are good at this whole thing of researching, you are good at being resourceful." Because you must remember, guys, leadership is not particularly a qualification. Leadership is skills and attributes, right, that you don't learn from school. So things like being resourceful, things like having bigger networks, things like knowing people, things like having access to, to particular experts, right? It's not qualification linked per se. So when your team says, "Please give me the support that I need," my job would be to tap into other experts, is to tap into other professionals and make sure that we can get all of the information that we're looking for so that we can be able to successfully execute on a particular project. And then my team can bring in their expertise, right, which is better than mine. They can bring in their expertise and they can actually run the show. So toxic managers make this mistake of they don't want to be anybody's support. So even though they do have the capacity to support you, what they do is they try to, number 4, compete with you. So for all of you guys, masenfika le on top. When you get there on top, guys, remember, never compete with your subordinates, ever. If your subordinate gets a compliment, it does not mean now you must be threatened, right? Do not compete with them. When they get their degree or they're getting their certificates and they're posting them on LinkedIn to say, "Hey, I just got this new certificate in business development," or whatever the case is, you can't go and run and do the same thing so that you can also post on LinkedIn, "Hey, I also received this certificate." That's where you start becoming toxic. So never feel threatened by your subordinates and never compete with your subordinates, ever. If anything, you've already beaten them by becoming in an executive position when they are still building up. So what are you competing with exactly? Instead, give them a platform, delegate to them, right? "Hi, Christopher, thank you for coming through," right? So that's what you need to do. "Hi, Lisa, thank you for coming through. I see you." You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to start practicing becoming a selfless leader. Look at all of your managers, right? They've given you an example of what you should not be. So if you have a manager, the ones that are just kinda shisa, and then they're just terrorizing everybody. Those people are not selfless leaders, and they are a good example for you of what not to be, right? Instead, you must be the opposite. Be these 4 things that I've put on, on screen for you today, and adopt this. Even when you have interns in the office, guys, right? It starts there. Let's say you are in an entry-level position, and then you've got interns that have come into the department. Practice these things with them and start growing from there. If you are in a management position and you are not doing any of those things that are on the screen, please make sure that you adopt them right today so that you can start using this as a practice. Guys, this is good for you and it's good for them. It's good for you and it's good for them. Imagine the anxiety, anxiety, because you are just constantly competing with your subordinates, right? Utrapa is stress because you are trying to flex your muscles and lead each and every project. You're not going to make it. You're going to burn out. It's not sustainable, right? So this is good for you as well because you get to sit back and focus on strategic things, right? Because you are a strategic leader. When you get into a leadership position, it's a position of strategy. Then you can just focus on strategy and let people run projects. So this is good for you, right? It's part of the whole corporate game of moving up. The more you shine in strategic things as a manager, is the more you increase your chances of becoming influential and getting into an executive position. Why worry yourself because of your rank? By getting on the ground and becoming operational and working on spreadsheets just so that you can show your subordinates ukuthi kukhala sakabani la. Holla sitlhako saka mo. Ke ga mo. You understand what I'm saying? You are putting yourself in a position of stress. Delegate to people. Delegate to people. If you can't execute the 3rd and 4th point well, you end up exercising witchcraft. Exactly. Be wise, you end up becoming super toxic. You really end up becoming super toxic. And you guys don't pick up that you are toxic up to the point where people start resigning within the company, right? I had one manager, oh my word, this guy, I'm telling you, this guy was just demoralizing his whole entire team because when they do something good and we recognize them, he wants to do something better in order to beat them. And I was like, dude, you're already sitting in Mango. You are sitting in a high position. We already depend on you. Delegate to people and let them shine, let them learn, right? It also gives you the opportunity to practice or polish your leadership skills. Exactly, Mr. Gift. That's what you want to do. You want to polish your strategic things, right? You want to polish your thought leadership. So you want to spend a lot of time going for radio interviews, writing in publications, and all of that. So it's when you start giving people projects and let them lead, as much as it helps them grow as well, because you are creating a great foundation for them. Hi, Nanali, thank you for coming through, my friend. Right? As much as you're giving them a platform to grow and learn, you are opening time for you to work on other things. When I was a manager, guys, and I'm telling you, and I was shooting for an executive position, and I knew what it takes to get into an executive position, I would give my team all of the projects and say, I would rather you run with this and I'll give you all of the support that you need. Because I want to occupy myself with things that are going to make me an executive, right? I will be your support. I will be there with you 100%. If you're telling me there's a meeting and you feel like you can do that meeting on your own, 100%, that's even much more better for me. So I would let you go to that meeting. So instead of going to the meeting so that I can sit in the meeting and observe you and make your life difficult and all of that, if you're saying I can take care of this meeting, better for me. Better for me. Right? Then I can start going on LinkedIn and inboxing all of these journalists and saying to them, hey guys, listen, I want to drop something in the publication, right? Or there's a new legislation that just came out. I can speak to one of the radio producers and say, listen here, I really want to get into this topic. Can we come to the radio show? Hi, Mrs. Nefifi. Thank you for coming through. You understand what I'm saying? So I would rather spend time honing those skills. So it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win situation. And guys, this does not take away from you. So a lot of managers think when they are, letting their subordinates shine, it takes away from their own shine. No, guys, it doesn't work like that. Your shine is already there. That's why you are the manager and they are not. You understand? Is there any course leaders can do to better their leadership skills? August Leo, you can do courses to improve your leadership skills. You can do courses to improve your leadership skills when August Leo, right? But also, I think improving leadership skills also has to be very practical. It has to be practical as well. right? So what I always tell people to do is, in the township or wherever you stay or even at work, find a couple of people that you can mentor, right? Because a textbook sometimes or a course that you do sometimes does not give you the allowance to practice. It can teach you leadership principles, right? But it does not give you the opportunity to practice at the end of the day. All right, guys, let me know if my network is fine. Let me know if you can still hear me. Let me know if I'm audible. Um, because I can see the bar on the Wi-Fi is actually very crappy. I'm not sure why. But as long as you heard me, August Leo, then yeah, 100%. Then that means maybe the network is not that bad, right? So yeah, guys, I need you to practice leadership as well. Don't just go with what's on textbooks, but also the reason why, okay, cool stuff, Okti. Thank you, Batobile, right? The reason why I tell you guys to attend the podcast, it's not the podcast. What do you call it? The webinars is so that you can hear leaders speak. Hi, Tobile. Thank you for coming through, right? It's so that you can hear the leaders speak and understand how they approach things, right? So don't just depend on the courses. The courses sometimes, guys, the leadership courses are so expensive. And in my head, sometimes I'm like, it's not even necessary for us to be paying this much for leadership courses. I'm so sorry to institutions. If there's somebody who works for an educational institution, I'm very sorry, but some of these leadership courses are so expensive. And in my head, I'm like, I've never done a leadership course in my life, but I became one of the most brilliant leaders in corporate, and I mean still am today. And the reason for this is because I prefer practicing it. When I want to improve my leadership skills, like for example now, I'm going to be doing a free tech career accelerator where I'm going to be taking young people that are in the tech space and giving them mentorship in terms of how they can grow their careers. This is part of me improving my leadership skills because I need to lead them into success, right? The reason why I'm doing these masterclasses is so that I can lead you guys into success. So this is what leadership looks like for me. So instead of doing a course, I would rather do this. But I'm not saying guys don't do leadership courses. I'm just saying sometimes too much theory, less practice. I don't know, right? And also, what these courses don't tell you, like what really happens in corporate and then what happens in these leadership courses is two different things, right? I'm sure some of you guys that have studied, thank you, Nanali. Some of you guys that have studied some of your courses, I think when you compare textbook with what's happening in corporate, it's two different things altogether. There are just things that they just don't prepare you for there, right? Maybe that's why I must just write a new textbook when it comes to these things that is blunt and straight to the point, right? And speaks about what happens in corporate, right? And like these points that I'm giving you here right now, I mean, this is not something you can find in a leadership course. This is not something that you can find in a leadership textbook. This is something you can't find in a degree and so forth, right? So that's why it's important for me to do these master classes. So guys, it does not take away from you. Sometimes it's just not your moment to shine when it comes to certain projects. As a leader, as a manager, as a director, right? Sometimes it's your subordinates' chance to shine. And you need to support that chance for them to shine. Guys, if you're constantly trying to shine as a leader, I'm telling you right now, the kind of mistakes you're going to make, they're going to be big, right? I'm reading a book by Keith Ferrazzi. Okay, let us know what the name of the book is. Maybe some of the Fetch Army here, August Leo, might want to read it as well. Gain some insights, gain some knowledge. My manager had to present to the business unit, which is to level up from my role, asked if I can do it. You see, now that's nice, guys, right? Sometimes that's what you do. You just let people go. I told you guys the story of when I was actually invited to a board meeting because my CEO knew that they could never present the way I present. And then you know what she said? Spoo? It's your time to shine. This one is yours. And I was sitting in the boardroom. So guys, the name of the book is called Leading Without Authority. That's a nice one. I think I already like the title. I can see where this book is going. I like that. I think it's definitely about selfless leadership. I think it. I killed it. Ooh, Mrs. Snay, go get them, Fifi. So Fifi killed it. You see now. So it's nice when you have a boss like that, somebody or a manager like that, or a leader like that within a company, somebody who can say, listen here, it's all good, 100%, you lead this one. You are better when it comes to this. My favorite line was always, you are the boss. Somebody would come to me and say, Sbu, I was thinking we do this. I would be like, you are the boss. And since you're the boss, you tell me what I need to do. And sometimes they'd feel so bad, like, no, it's okay. I'd be like, listen here. Right now, I'm stripping off my title as executive director. I'm your support. What do you want to see happen? Smoo, we need $5,000. We need $6,000 for this one. I need to travel here. And I'll be like, I'll sort everything out for you. I will use my position as executive director to push for you. Right? So guys, fire emojis. Yes, fire emojis for Fifi. Fifi did a presentation to a business unit that is 2 levels up, and then she did great, guys. So Mrs. Snare there, fire emojis for her. Applied the persuading skill. You go, girl, Miss Snare. Exactly. That's what you do. That's what you do, guys. We move up, right? When one of us in the Fetch Army wins, we all win. That's what happens. We all win at the end of the day, right? So, guys, by the way, if you are not following me, make sure that you follow. So that you can be able to become part of the Fetch Army. Masterclasses happen every day at 2:00. We go by the Fetch Army. We are fetching executive positions. We are fetching what Mrs. Snay is fetching right now. Right? We are presenting. And guys, we are fetching selfless leadership. That's what we're also doing, right? So make sure that you follow, guys. Go join the WhatsApp group on careeremporium.co.za so that you can get the reminders. Guys, I'm going to be sending you more webinars. Did you guys go to the webinars? Hey, Nina, guys, Nyansola, did you guys go to the webinars though? Anyway, I'm going to be sharing more webinars in the WhatsApp group because I need you guys to start listening to leaders speaking and be comfortable, right? The webinar that I sent, one of them is happening tomorrow, right? I think it's Youth in Business. It's happening at 11 o'clock. So yeah, that's what. Coach Sbu, I'm unable to join the WhatsApp group. Ozzy, please inbox one of the moderators or all of the moderators. Batobile is here, Nana Lee is here, Okti is here. I'm not sure which other one is there. So guys, I don't know if you guys actually went to the webinars, but I'm going to send you the webinars. It's okay. Anyway, I want you guys to be comfortable with speaking to leaders and speaking like leaders within organizations. Yesterday's one, the BDO one, was very nice. It was very nice, guys. I could only join in for the first 30 minutes because I was traveling. That's why I couldn't do the masterclass. But that one was nice. So tomorrow is the Youth in Business one. I'm really looking forward, to hearing leaders within the youth development space discussing the future, discussing industry, discussing what's happening. I don't know. I think for me, guys, it's what can I even call it? It's such a treat. It's such a treat listening to other leaders and other executives. I don't know why, guys, I'm addicted to it. Right? It's so nice to listen to executives speaking and making plans. I mean, like yesterday at the BDO one, the way these people were using industry language, right? I'm not in the accounting space. I'm not in the cloud accounting space, but that webinar was about cloud accounting. But, I liked the way it was just flowing out of their tongue, and they were talking about the future of digitization and all of that. It's so nice to listen to other executives. So that's why I'm sending you guys the webinars. But ngithumela ama-webinar so that you can attend. Not sending you webinars so that you can decorate your phones with all of those pamphlets that I'm sending. So guys, I'm going to be sending you more webinars. I need you guys to attend them as a belief. That is how you really start to understand how executives engage. I mean, like the BDO one, there was a time where one executive was asking the other executive some questions about the future and all of that, and listening to 2 executives engage. Guys, I don't know. Whew, it's such a treat. Ngati cake. It feels like a birthday, So I want you guys to attend those webinars. I say, believe, So guys, let's double tap the screen. Let's get to 10K likes. Really appreciate it. We've made it to 7.5K likes, right? So guys, we are fetching selfless leaderships. So please tell me in the comments, guys, are you willing to become a selfless leader? Just give me a yes or give me a no. Do you think that's something that's going to be easy for you? Do you get the principle behind it? Do you think this is something, that corporate is looking for right now? We're looking for selfless leaders instead of selfish people that are toxic, and then they oh my, yes, so please, yes, guys, I like that. Oh wow, where can I catch that one? The BDO one is finished, OZM. The BDO one is finished, but it was amazing. It really was amazing. Okay, so August Leo is committing, but Tobile is committing, User is committing, Lisa is committing. So guys, please commit to this. Mr. Gift is also committing. Guys, commit to this. You can also save a whole lot of people a whole lot of trauma, right? You don't want to be responsible for somebody's trauma. I would have loved to join. OZM, OZM, get in the group. I will send you the next ones. I've got more webinars that are coming through, right? Tobil is also saying yes. OZM is saying yes, right? So guys, please save people trauma. You know what it was like when they traumatized you. You know when you had a leader who was competing with you as a subordinate. You know what it was like when you had a leader who wouldn't let you lead projects, right? You know there was somebody who, instead of embracing the fact that you are smarter than them and using your strengths, they felt threatened by you. They started treating you badly. You know what that is like. So why don't you become different and not be what you don't like? Sir, I need these webinars because my clinic is opening soon. August Leo, join the WhatsApp group. I'm going to share all of the webinars there. Join the WhatsApp group, right? Go to careeremporium.co.za, join the group, or follow any of my moderators and you can inbox them. Nanali is here, Batobile is here, Okti is here, right? You can inbox all of my moderators and give them your number and then they can add you to the group. Actually, I think it's the main three captains that have access to administration rights. So the lieutenant, which is Batobile, and then the two captains, which is Nanali and Okti. So they will assist you with that if you are struggling to join on careeremporium.co.za. Right. So guys, please be what you don't. Look at what you've seen in corporate. And look at all of these horrible leaders that are not selfless and become the opposite of that. Do you know how much difference you can make in a person's life if you are in a position where you become a selfless leader? Do you know how many young people will look up to you? And guys, let me tell you something. This also elevates your status, right? Because let's say you are a manager and then you are selfless. You have a healthy team. You have a team that feels engaged, right? So guys, workplace engagement is a very big thing right now. So corporates are looking for managers that can keep their subordinates and employees engaged in the workplace. Right? So they come in, they feel good, they share ideas, they communicate, they talk to people, right? And they want to move the business to the next level. That's what we call a workplace engagement. So that has become a very big term right now. So when you become a selfless leader, you breed a new army of yours that is highly engaged in the workplace. And the team is healthy. And the team is growing. And because you give them more space and you capitalize on their knowledge, the team is actually coming up with innovative ideas as well that are saving the company money. That puts you in a better spot. You shine because every time there's a menko, right? Every time there's a management meeting and then you are giving feedback, your feedback always flows. So whatever company you're in, they're like, this one maybe is ready to be a director. They are running a very healthy team. This one is ready to become a director. So they take you and put you to the next level. So by elevating other people, you elevate yourself. You also move up. It's not compromising. You're not compromising and sacrificing yourself. You know, becoming a leader that does not hoard information. Don't gatekeep. Do not gatekeep. Because once you become a gatekeeper, I'm telling you, you are no longer a selfless leader. You are a toxic leader. And I want you guys to watch out for that because some of you guys maybe already sent toxic pattern is born. You know, so go do an analysis and go do an evaluation based on these 4 points. Some of you guys might already be toxic, but you do not see. You do not see it. So it's very important that you go and evaluate yourself and say, okay, fine. Who am I in this whole situation here? Am I somebody who's toxic or am I somebody who's selfless? Selfless leaders have a higher chance of succeeding than toxic leaders. Guys, do you know toxic managers that have been managers for 15 years and they can't even move to an executive position? Because if you are working for a serious company, I'm telling you, serious companies keep toxic managers where they are. We like them where they are cracking the whip and they are getting people to work, right? And I'm talking about if we are in certain industries and difficult industries. But you never say, because I mean, like, directors notice when somebody is toxic, right? We notice it when somebody is toxic. We're not going to take somebody who's toxic and put them in a position where they have to manage the risk of the company because they're going to be toxic to external stakeholders. As a director, executive director, you report mostly to external stakeholders. So there's no way we're gonna take people and a toxic person and put them in a position of risk where they have to engage with our clients, they have to engage with our strategic partners, they have to engage with our international, friends, that we're trying to grow with. There's no way you're gonna put a toxic person like that. Can you understand what those meetings are gonna look like? So you will stay where you are cracking the whip. Some managers hide their toxicity behind jokes. I'm telling you, Mr. Gift, we see this in relationships as well, where somebody wants to tell you that the relationship is over, but they make it like a joke, you know. But why it's all about thala, that style. My wife always says some things are said. How do you say that? Some things are said in jest, or something like that, right? Yeah, that's why he's cracking the whips. Exactly. That's why Miss Snake. That's why out of a slave driver, I crack a whip. And no crackisa ke whip ka o frustrated hona byanong. That's why they are cracking the whip. They will always stay there. O crack a whip ka o kwatile is mad at everybody. But the thing is, we are not gonna put you in a position of influence where you have to deal with other people. So now you're gonna crack the whip on our stakeholders. The next thing we wake up tomorrow morning, we no longer have this particular strategic partnership. People are canceling our MOUs and all of that, right? So yes, some people do hide behind jokes. But othala, bazokulahla. You don't catch on these jokes. Bazokulahla. The person told you many times that the relationship is over, but they never know what the whole situation. You understand? So that's why I want you guys to actually become selfless leaders. It's very important. You uplift others, but at the end of the day, it uplifts you as well. You have enough time. You have less stress. Guys, leadership is, do you guys understand how stressful a leadership position is? And I think most of the people, right, they avoid getting into management and executive positions because of the stress. But guys, stress comes with it. It's part of it. But if you are selfless, you are reducing your stress by 70%. You're still going to have the 30% stress of dealing with responsibility, but at least you are not dealing with subordinates that don't like you, subordinates that are constantly complaining, subordinates that are not engaged. You don't have to dig hard to get people to perform at their highest potential. But if you're toxic, it's very difficult for you to pull out the excellence in people. And at some point, you can't keep firing people, right? You can't keep taking people to CCMA. I know this one manager, guys, that manager cost the company money. It was one of the companies that I was working for. And I was a senior manager there. That girl costs us money. Because whenever there's an issue, she wants to make it an HR thing. So we never understood how much she was actually consulting with the external HR company, because we had outsourced our HR, right? We're a small business. And she was having meetings with these people, because now she's tired. Whenever you challenge her, she wants to make it an HR issue. So she's always calling the labor company and saying to them, hey, there's this person. What can I do in order to punish them, right? What can I do to make their lives difficult and all of that? So whenever she contacts these people are billing us. They are billing us. And then because she doesn't consult correctly, we end up going to CCMA. That person was costing us a whole lot of money. Simply because they don't want to give up power. They don't want to admit that some people are smarter. They don't want to let smart people run projects. It's easy. It wasn't going to cost them anything. But guys, when the bill came through from that HR company, the labor company, we were shocked. And you know what happened? She's the one who ended up getting fired, because she cost us a whole lot of money. We had to make an executive decision and let this person go because she ran the billing so high. So sometimes clever sees, you're trying to be a clever in the background. Sometimes it doesn't help. You end up costing a company a whole lot of money. The CCMA cases were piling up. Whereas the simplest thing she should have done was to sit and look herself in the mirror and say, the fact that I've got subordinates that are smarter than me does not make me stupid. And guys, that's what we need to do. We need to differentiate between the two. The fact that you have subordinates that are smarter than you, it does not mean you are stupid. It just means there are people that are smarter than you. Right? Are you trying to tell me that there are no people that are more beautiful than you? Are you saying when you are the most beautiful thing? But the fact that there are people that are more beautiful than you does not make you ugly. But I'm just saying, there are people that are more beautiful than you. There are people that dress better than you. The fact that there are people that dress better than you does not mean you are a bad dresser. So the fact that as a manager there are people that are smarter than you does not mean you are stupid. It's two different things. It means there are people that beat you in certain areas. There's a person who will always be better than you in certain areas. That's why we are not all soccer players, because there are people that are meant for that. We are not all boxers. There are people that are meant for that. You understand what I'm saying? There are people that are taller. That's why they are playing basketball. But it does not mean you are less talented because somebody else is very talented in basketball. Now you are better than them at whatever sport you are playing. So sometimes you just need to hold back, hold your horses, let your subordinates shine. Give people a moment to shine. You understand? Let them shine. And the more they shine is the more they do your work. But you don't want to say, I'm going to delegate, let them do my work, and then I can carry on with life. Because then what happens when mistakes happen, right? At the end of the day, if they're not executing correctly because you are not giving them the support that they require, it looks bad on you. When we sit, when Exco sits with, when we sit at a Menco session as executive directors, we sit in a management meeting. When we talk about something that has gone wrong, we're talking about the whole department. So we are putting everything on you. So we don't want to hear a manager says, yeah, it's my administrator who fumbled here and there. It doesn't work like that. We don't want to hear about administrators. We will put it on you. So if you are not supporting your team, a selfless leader will support their team because they know once my team excels and I sit in that Menco meeting, they're going to talk about how good my department is doing. Right? At work, one must be very humble and understanding. Exactly. Fighting too much makes things worse. Problem is that some people like to always win. If they lose, it becomes a problem for everyone. Exactly now. And that's what I want you guys to avoid by becoming selfless leaders. Some people are constantly competing with their subordinates, guys. Number 4, people are constantly competing with their subordinates. That's why now they always want to win. For them, it's like a boxing match. And you're like, who are you fighting with? Because we're all on the same side. Me, guys, I'd rather have employees that are excelling and they are better than me. And I can sit in the background and say, how can I support you? Because at the end of the day, when we do our monthly EXCO meetings, or let's say you are a manager and we do our monthly MENCO meetings, you want to walk in there as a manager in ECO MENCO, confident what my department is functioning. You want to walk into that MENCO only confident what my department is performing. You know you're not going to be a subject of discipline and all of that when you get into a MENCO meeting. It's not going to be embarrassing for you. Right? As a director, when I walk into an EXCO, I want to my business unit, I want it to not be doubted. And the best way to do that is to be selfless and let your employees shine. Those with brilliant ideas that are moving the department forward, let them step in, let them step up. And say, when it comes to this particular project, you are the boss. The rest of us, including your managers, people that are more senior than you, all of us are going to step back and then we're going to give you all of the support that you need. I'm going to use my influence as a director to get you more money so that you can implement this project, right? I'm going to get you the best manager to come and give you the best support that you need. That is my job. So go and shine. And the more you shine is the more I don't have to do that work. I'll give you all of the support, but then I can focus on, Sbu, how do you now become a better executive? Catch a webinar or 2 in between. But when you compete with people, you're creating more stress because now you become operational, right? That's what happens. Thank you so much, Batobile. Thank you so much, right? And that is what happens, right? So now when you try to compete with people, let me tell you something. You are setting a trap for yourself that you don't see. You don't see that trap because you want to do the spreadsheet yourself. You want to capture data yourself, right? You want to do the meetings yourself. You want to do the presentation yourself because I need to funuk. You remember Jigama Jiga, Mbonise. So when you want to bonisa them, right? So everything you want to do yourself, let me tell you what happens. That means you start going home at 9 o'clock at night. The kids are not happy with your situation. The husband, the wife is not happy with your situation. The arguments are starting in the house simply because you are competing with a person who is at an entry-level position, umdala as a manager. So creating chaos in the house. All of your relationships are starting to fall apart because when you want to take up on everything, you're no longer smiling in the house, you're always hostile in the house. Now I'm shouting, shoo, out of the window, gone. Guys, I'm telling you things that I've seen. I'm telling you things that I've seen. I get clients on a daily basis that come to me. I'm telling you stories that I've seen. Obviously, I'm not telling you people's names, right? But this is what I see. This is what happens. And you end up getting burnt out. And Batobilis Katle, so you are burnt out without a lot of enough leave days. Right? Beverly, hi. Thank you for coming through. Right? You end up getting burnt out without leave days. And then you know what happens, ne? So every time I get home, I have 1 glass of wine. Then it becomes 2 glasses of wine. Then it becomes a bottle of wine every day. Then from there on, you derail. You derail. Hi, Lati. You derail completely. You understand? So, guys, don't do that. Not only is it bad for your subordinates, it's bad for you. It's worse for you, actually, if I can put it like that. And then you will regret getting into a management position, and you will resent getting into a management position. And at that moment in time, you will go and beg people to demote you. Right? Thank you, Lati. Right? You will go and beg people to demote you because you failed to become selfless. And then now you're taking on so much, and then you hate leadership. It will make you hate leadership. So, guys, think about your toxic bosses and say, I'm going to be different. Or think about the time you experience somebody being toxic and say to yourself, I'm going to be different. I'm going to do things differently. And I'm going to become a selfless leader. A selfless leader is not a weak leader. Always remember that they are just very smart, strategic people that know how to utilize their resources and their subordinates, which is part of the resources, to the best of their ability. That's what selfless leaders are. So often I used to be seen like I'm weak. People would be like, this one is weak, right? The team always goes into the office and then they suggest projects and then he gives them the projects and then you can see him standing back and supporting the team. It's like that is a sign of weakness. When you walk in, your team must fear you. They must feel your presence. Nah, guys, I'm confident enough. And that's what a selfless leader is. You are confident enough to know that your position is not threatened here, right? You are not weak, right? You accept that you are a sensitive person who wants to see other people grow, or not maybe sensitive, but sensible person that wants to see other people grow. You are comfortable in your skin. If you are not comfortable, guys, if you have confidence issues, you will never become a selfless leader. That is not going to happen for you. You need to be confident enough to know, man, my position is secured. Like nobody threatens me. And guys, that's what Fetch Army is, right? Fetch Army is confidence. I get it. That's who we are. Fetch Army is confidence. We are a confident group of people that are fetching, right? I'm going to screenshot this printout and put it on my desk at the office notice board. Thank you, Mr. Gift. This is very important, guys. This needs to become your Bible. Take this thing and put it on the wall and let it be your Bible so that it's a constant reminder. Whenever you're starting to fall into your toxic traits, I mean, sometimes we don't see it, guys. Some people are deliberately toxic. Some people, guys, I know a lot of people that I've sat down with and they said to me, wow, had I not looked back. Thank you so much, Lisa, right? People that have said, I wish I had listened to myself and I wish I had listened to my staff. You understand? There are people that fall into toxicity because they are panicking, they have anxiety in the office, so they want to do everything themselves and they're feeling pressure from directors as managers and then they start pushing, right? So they sort of like fall down, they fall off the rails without actually seeing this. I wish some people could hear this. I know, Fifi. I know we need to take this message out there. And say to people, this is what you need to look at. So some people fall off the rails, and that's why I'm liking what Mr. Gift is saying. Always have this in your pocket. Take a screenshot and always have it in your phone pocket and say, I need to check myself if I'm still in the right track. I need to check if I'm still admitting that subordinates are smarter than me and I'm accepting it. I need to check if I'm letting subordinates that are stronger lead projects, right? I need to check if I'm giving support to subordinates that have stronger knowledge than me. I need to check if I'm not competing with my subordinates because it's easier to fall into that trap. So you also need to check yourself, guys. Because sometimes, like I said, directors and the company will put so much pressure on you, you'll start falling into the trap of being a selfish leader and being toxic that you don't notice it until 2 years down the line. And guys, they regret when you start looking back and say, the way I treated people sucks. And you can't rewind time. You don't want to find yourself in that position. Right? Some of the executive directors that I coach in large companies, guys, I'm telling you, they come down, they sit down, and they remember things they did 5 years ago, and they said, man, the way I treated this person 5 years ago, it's my biggest regret. Coach Sbu, it's my biggest regret. And I'm left with 6 years as an executive director. I want my tenure to be the best one. Then I work on them. I work with them to make them selfless leaders. Then we take a step back. We analyze the whole team. We analyze the dynamics. And then we fix it, right? One university came to me last year and they said to me, Sbu, we don't know what's happening, right? But we've got this one department. It was Department Yogregistarama students. It was a team of 4. They said these people are so far gone with their beef and toxicity that even when you ask them, when are yourself, guys, where did this start? They forgot. All they know is that this turmoil is there. And when I said and I did an analysis, it starts with one person. It's the manager. It's the head of the department. The head of the department is so selfish that he would start creating these small alliances, right, in order to beef with the other one, right, and exclude them from activities. And then this one would also become better, right, and start making friends with the other one. I mean, guys, it's literally, it's a circus, high school. And you know what? This is where I took this concept and I said to them, let me teach you about how to become a selfless leader. And then the manager was angry because like, okay, they said you must come fix the whole department, but you are only working on me. I don't see you sitting with the other ones. I said, you know what? Because you are the biggest problem. And if you don't know how to admit it, then we have an issue. Before I can get to your subordinates, I'm telling you, I need to deal with you. You created this mess. And if you can't sit back and look at how you created this mess and admit to it, I mean, it took a lot for the person to say, yeah, sometimes I feel like my subordinates are smarter than me, and I wonder how it threatens my position. And I said, there you go. Had you said this 3 weeks ago, I'm telling you, we would be done with this project. But I had to push this person. I had to make them understand. Then I can go to the other ones and say, okay, guys, now let's do forgive and forget. Let's do a forgive and forget, guys, right? This is what this person is admitted to. And then this is what this person is planning to change. And then these are the causes. And then I had to explain to them. I can see how this can get a person. It's literally because of the pressures that they are getting from directors. And I said to this person, go explain to these people your position. Tell them how your Menko meetings go. And the more this person opened up and say, guys, Menko is tough. Because that's what happens at management meetings, right? Directors will sit on the neck of managers because at Exco and Menko, we don't hug each other, right? We don't hug each other there. We call each other out. We speak the truth because we're trying to grow the company. And as soon as she started explaining this to her team, you can see the team started to sympathize and say, let's give you a hug. Now we understand where this is coming from, but use us. We've got the knowledge. And the dynamics, they changed completely. So fortunately, Naso traumatizes Banababad because some people have traumatized so many people. I mean, like, it's bad. So guys, this is the lesson for the day. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it on YouTube. Guys, remember, go onto YouTube and check previous masterclasses. They are there. Go on LinkedIn and follow the LinkedIn page to get all of the blog articles that are there. We haven't done a blog article in a while, but we've got a couple of blogs that are coming up, right? We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram as well. If you want to book your career strategy session, if you want to become a selfless leader, go to careeremporium.co.za, book your session for 450 an hour, and then let's work on your strategy. Or whether you are trying to pivot, or you have an interview coming up, or you've got a job, you're chasing a job promotion. Thank you so much, BK. Right? Just make sure that you book a session on careeremporium.co.za. Go join the WhatsApp group. I'm going to be sharing with you guys more webinars. Guys, when I share webinars with you guys, please go. Nizo regret ala sen kukile na 65. Had I go to that webinar, oh my word, my industry language would have improved, or I would have gotten better executive skills. Right? Nizo sort. go to the webinars when I share them. On the WhatsApp group, right? And guys, if you feel like you are getting knowledge from this live, please hit the subscribe button. You can see there we've got a target of 10 subscribers. I know Batobile was the first original subscriber. So if you guys you feel like you're getting knowledge, please hit the subscribe button right here on TikTok and subscribe to the live as well to make sure that we constantly have resources, to come up with these master classes, right? It's like you are funding a small university. And then, yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming through. I want you guys to enjoy your long weekend. But before we leave, guys, let's start the train. Who's going to start the train for us so that I can give you guys shout outs? If you are not following me, make sure you follow right now so that you know whenever I am live and I'm doing master classes. We do them every day at 2 o'clock. But guys, let's start the train as we close off the live, and then we start enjoying the Friday before the Friday. There you go. Prudence has started the train, guys. Please put hashtag Fetch Army in the comments as I give you guys your shout outs, right? And then we are closing this thing, and then we're going to enjoy the long weekend. But Tobile, the lieutenant, thank you so much for the gifts, and thank you so much for coming through. These lives are nothing without you. Lisa, thank you for coming through and engaging, and thank you for the gifts. BK, thank you for coming through, and thank you for the gifts as well. Nanali Kim Sami, thank you so much for coming through, and thank you for the gifts as well. Be Wise, thank you. You were the first one, I think, to actually say hi today. So Be Wise, thank you for coming through. Ntoki, I see you. Mr. Gift, thank you for always engaging, my boy. I see you. Mimi, I see you. Christopher, I see you. Captain Neo Kulchik Petla, I see you. Kumbu, I see you. Los Boy, I see you. User 481. User 481, are you somebody's manager here trying to check if your subordinates are misbehaving in their life? But anyway, I see you. Please put a profile picture in the name. Zandi K, I see you. Jay, I see you. Bunolo, I see you. Luruli, I see you. Ngusi, I see you. Kinoshi, I see you. Lati M, thank you for coming through. I see you. Beverly, thank you for coming through. I see you. Tembi, I see you. Mrs. Sneh, thank you for coming through. Fifi, it's always nice to see you. Ankululego Shelembe, I see you. Prudence, thank you for coming through. And thank you for starting the train today. Gaisha, I see you. Vinolia, I see you. Vinolia, yes. Pimelo, I see you. Newa, the one, I see you. Sid, I see you. Nene, I see you. Tami, I see you. Mareika Fenter, I see you. Selby, Mahanyele, I see you. TK, I see you. Ramo Jane, I see you. Umpe, I see you. Guys, thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you, right? So I will see you next week for the masterclass. Love you guys. Be safe this weekend. And remember, wherever you go, you guys are the Fetch Army. Sharp, sharp, my people. We are signing out.